What would happen if there was no minimum wage? Have you ever wondered what our economy would look like without a minimum wage? It's a fascinating question that can lead to some surprising answers. Let's break it down. If there were no minimum wage, one major consequence would be the increased risk of worker exploitation. Employers could pay extremely low wages, possibly below what is needed to live. This would push many workers into poverty, making it hard for them to afford basic necessities. Liberals argue that a minimum wage is essential to prevent this kind of exploitation and to ensure that work provides a decent standard of living. Another significant effect would be the widening of income inequality. Without a minimum wage, low-wage workers would have little power to negotiate fair pay. This could lead to a greater concentration of wealth among employers and higher income groups. From a liberal viewpoint, the minimum wage serves as a tool to help distribute income more fairly by raising the earnings floor for workers. Additionally, if wages were lower, many workers would have reduced purchasing power. This decrease in income could lead to lower demand for goods and services. Since consumer spending is a key driver of economic growth, the absence of a minimum wage could slow down economic activity. Liberals see the minimum wage not only as a measure of social justice but also as a way to stimulate demand and support a healthy economy. Moreover, if wages fall too low, more workers might need to rely on government assistance programs to meet their basic needs. This could increase public spending on social safety nets. Liberals argue that a minimum wage helps reduce the need for such assistance by allowing workers to earn enough to support themselves, which in turn lessens the financial burden on the state. Labor market stability would also be at risk without a minimum wage. Workers might face unpredictable earnings, leading to lower morale and higher turnover rates. This instability could reduce overall productivity. Liberals emphasize that fair wages contribute to better working conditions and higher employee satisfaction, which benefits everyone. Lastly, the absence of a minimum wage could weaken labor unions. These organizations often depend on minimum wage laws to protect their members from being undercut by lower-paid labor. Liberals support minimum wage laws partly because they help maintain a baseline that unions can use to negotiate better wages and working conditions. In summary, if there were no minimum wage, we could see increased poverty, greater income inequality, reduced economic demand, more reliance on government aid, and instability in the labor market. The minimum wage is viewed as a necessary policy to protect workers and promote economic fairness.